Do you guys need me to use the mic? Do you need me to use the mic for purposes back there? You do? Okay. You know, it's wonderful to be back here in St. Mary's and in Pleasants County. You guys have one of the most amazing counties in the state, and I love spending time here. Whether I remember my stretch in 2012 where I did a lot of campaigning here and had a chance to walk around a lot of your neighborhoods and walk through the downtown a lot. Every year I've tried to spend a little bit of time back up here and make sure that I'm keeping in touch with the pulse of Pleasants County. And so I want to say thank you for all coming out today, because we really have some terrific news. A lot of positive things happening that we're working on. And I'm also very grateful to be joined by a number of our elected officials and local community leaders, people that are doing good work. I want to tell you, I'm a big believer that you win as a team. And I'm fond of saying we're all on Team West Virginia. So we're all working together, fighting to help our state become a place where our standard of living is on the rise, where our educational attainment is soaring, where we're known for managing our budget with fiscal discipline. And also we're investing back in our people. And that's part of the reason why we're up here today. We're talking about some really important investments here in St. Mary's, but quite frankly, across the state. And you're going to hear they're going to be over $16 million worth of investments that we're announcing. And a lot of that is because of some of the work. We obviously get some resources from the legislature. I'm grateful for that. But then we were able to leverage some of the other things we're doing in terms of our DEP and clean water grants. So this is going to make for an exciting announcement, and I'm really glad to share it with folks here today. I was saying that to some of the elected officials before I came up here that I think 6 months in, we've been to about 37 of the 55 counties. We're working really hard to make sure that we're hearing about what's going on in every single one of our beautiful counties. And so it's very nice to be back up here again. I was here a few weeks ago, but more in passing. So nice to see you. Before we get to our main announcements, I also want to continue to promote our back to school sales tax holiday. This is a great opportunity for the local community to go in to support small business and to be able to save a little bit of money as people are taking care of their kids. There are some statistics I read about nationally that the average family spends about $850 dealing with back to school issues. And if you can save $56, $58, $59 on that, that's a good thing. I don't scoff at that. I don't think anyone should. And so we've been promoting it. We know it started a while ago, and some people said, well, why are you talking about it? I want everyone to avail themselves of the opportunity to save money. And our tax folks had told me that this sales tax holiday would result in approximately a $3.4 million cost to the state coffers. And I said, well, why don't we get that number up a little bit? If more people know about it, they'll go out, they'll shop. That's great. And it's good for families. It's good for small businesses. And it's great for the state. And it's also important for our kids' educational future, because this is when a lot of people go out and they shop, they get ready for the school year. We know that teachers, a lot of our hardworking teachers go out and sometimes they buy things for the kids and they take care of them. And that makes a big difference. So I'm really happy to be here to talk about it. And if through Monday, you can get a lot that's tax-free. So please get out there and patronize your local small business. I'm told that 67% of the dollars when you go to the small business, of the purchases go back to that small business. It makes a huge difference for your local entrepreneurs. All right. Well, in West Virginia, we're always striking to really meet the right balance between supporting our energy sector and safeguarding our environment. And I think that Pleasants County knows a lot about that, right? Given its history. Well, here on the marina, on the banks of the Ohio River, a lot of people can enjoy all that Mother Nature gives and blesses us here in West Virginia. We know that across West Virginia, we have a lot of beautiful rivers, streams, lakes that drive tourism and allow us to relax, unwind, and live in the most beautiful state in the nation. I'm always fond of talking about the backyard brawl between West Virginia and other states. Well, when it comes to beauty, when it comes to our state parks, no one touches us. We're winning that backyard brawl, and that's certainly incredible. Over the past few weeks and months, I've talked a lot about economic development and lifting up the standard of living of our citizens. And that means we're working to grow jobs, to grow paychecks, to grow opportunities, to really build on the free market. I talk about really going after red tape more aggressively than any state in the country. And also to grow our workforce participation numbers. That makes such a big difference. Right now, we're last in the country in that area. We have to change that. I'm not going to be satisfied until we're moving the needle in all of these categories that matter. None of us should be satisfied or thump our chest until the numbers start really moving. But I think we're doing the right things to make that happen. But we can't do any of these great economic things if the state doesn't also have clean, safe drinking and bathing water. Can we agree on that? This shouldn't be partisan. And quite frankly, a lot of companies won't even move into the state if we don't have updated infrastructure for businesses and employees. Hang on. Well, I was going to sneeze, but I didn't. Sorry about that. We know that this has been an area we've had some challenge in the past. And when I took office, I looked for ways to both improve our water quality and support water and sewer infrastructure. And so far this year, we've been fortunate, thanks to the help of the legislature and a lot of the federal grant opportunities that we've been pursuing, we've been able to kickstart a number of new projects with low interest loans to really help get the state moving in the right direction when it comes to water and sewer infrastructure. A couple of these projects that we've talked about in the past, one in Calhoun County at the Pleasants Hill Public Service District, a big one in the town of Bradshaw in McDowell County. That was over $8 million of funding. That was a really important one. The town of Junior in Barber County to replace existing water lines and fire hydrants, and that was significant. The town of Davis in Tucker County had over $1 million, and in neighboring county, in the Union Williams CSD, there was over $8.2 million to upgrade the wastewater treatment plant and collection system. So we're trying to invest in the things that are going to help people, and I think these are important infrastructure upgrades. They're going to improve public health, and they're also going to support economic growth. Fortunately, we have another big set of announcements today on funding for projects to advance clean water and our infrastructure. So today, through the Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council, I'm very excited to report that the city of St. Mary's is receiving a low-interest loan of $496,000 to replace deteriorated water lines on Morgan Avenue and Barron Street. And that also is going to allow them to install 5 hydrants and 2 valves in the Mound Manor area. This is going to impact over 1,000 customers positively, which is great for a small county like Pleasants. So I'm really thrilled about that. And these funds, along with funds from the Army Corps of Engineers and the city of St. Mary's, been a good partner on this. Mayor, I'm looking over at you. That provides the 1.6, almost 7 million needed for this project. That's a great thing. When we can get together and partner with the cities, the counties, and have the opportunity to leverage it from the federal government, that's good for this region. So Mayor, I thank you for coming here. We're going to hear from the mayor in just a moment. I am very happy to be joined here today by a lot of our state representatives in this area, including one of our newest delegates who's doing a great job. How long are you on the job? 17 days. But he's already here, and he's working really hard for the people. I had a chance to spend a little time on the phone with Bill, and I think he's going to do a marvelous job for the district. So congratulations on your appointment. I look forward to working closely with you. And thanks for coming out today. He's going to be an active delegate. I'm going to tell you that much. So we have a number of people. Our mayor, Pat Boyles, our city manager, Brooke Barnhart. You know, there might be a relationship with someone else up here too. You know, they're all doing good things, and I'm I'm certainly happy that they took the time to join me here today. So we're proud to support you. We're proud to support the partnerships with Pleasants County, and I'm grateful for everything that you're all doing. Now, in addition to the funding here in St. Mary's, we also have a lot of other projects all across the state. I'm going to just mention here, because we have some people watching from all parts of the state here. I'm going to announce that we have another $16.8 million in water and sewer upgrades throughout West Virginia. That's a pretty big deal, something we've been working on for a while. We've worked in coordination with the Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council, the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, the US EDA, and also the Water Development Authority in West Virginia for funding on these critical projects. I'll just tick off a few of them. Won't go into all the details. We'll have it on our website, but we've got a project in Flatwoods. That's actually a almost $18,000 project in Flatwoods for replace some of the sewer line that had fallen through. We have about $220,000 for McDowell County, their PSD, and we've really been trying to help McDowell a lot. They suffered a lot under the floods, and so we're once again looking for more ways to help out. That's going to help the McDowell County PSD. We have Mingo County Public Service District, $195,000. Also, Canaan Valley Public Service District, that's $1 million for a new wastewater treatment plant. And, you know, we care a lot about the folks up in Tucker County. There's a small town in Summers County. I always love the name of this, Jumping Branch. Jumping Branch Nimitz Public Service District, over $1 million for some of the folks in Summers County. And this is going to be terrific. And then the city of Thomas. This is beautiful city by the river. If you've ever been up there, wonderful place. That's $500,000 for a pretreatment system at the Thomas Water Treatment plant. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people because we're working strategically to leverage our resources. When I came in, I vowed that we're going to do this strategically. We're going to actually try to leverage the dollars that we have, either through the Water Development Authority, economic development, the federal grants that we have, the partnerships with folks on the local level, in order to really address this, because you can't succeed as a state if your infrastructure is offline. And so there's nothing more important than having good, clean, beautiful water for everyone. So we're really happy about that. So I can proudly say as governor that I am working hard to prioritize our state's water infrastructure. And I know we've had a lot of challenges in this area over the years, but I'm going to keep working to solve as many problems as I can. There'll be more announcements into the future. I can tell that to people across West Virginia, but we're going to keep working every day and fight for you to have that good, clean drinking water. So grateful to be up here. Maybe we should have done something outside, such a beautiful day. The rain's held, but I'd love to now give some of the folks here an opportunity to say a few words. And I'll first start with your mayor here in St. Mary's, Patrick Boyles. Thanks, Mayor, for coming.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here. We really appreciate this. On behalf of the city of St. Mary's, I'd like to extend our thanks to Governor Morrisey and the supporting infrastructure investment in our small communities like ours. I also want to thank the partners at the state level for recognizing the importance of this project, for helping us move forward in funding that will allow us to move ahead with essential upgrades to our water system. This is not just a technical improvement, it's also a fundamental health, safety, and truly a daily lives for the people, to serve the people of St. Mary's. This project will enhance our water quality, improve the fire protection, strengthen our reliability of our water system for years to come, and it's also an investment of our public health, our economic system, and long-term resilience of our city. We are grateful for the partnership between state and local government that has made this possible. Like the governor said, this is a team workout. It's a team game. We're all in this for our state and our small cities. Again, I'd like to thank the governor and everyone who played a role in making this possible today, this announcement. We look forward to getting onto this project, getting it underway, and delivering the improvements that our residents deserve. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now I want to make sure if other people, some of the elected officials wanted to have a chance to say a few words. Senator, you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Governor. I'm Senator Mike Azinger. I'm Wood County, but I am your senator along with Donna Boley, the legendary Donna Boley. But congratulations, Mayor, and to St. Mary's. This is great news, and this is the type of stuff our new governor is doing. He's being aggressive about it. This, of course, is a systemic problem. There's a lot of places in West Virginia that need this kind of assistance, and he's making it happen. So I'm honored to be here with the governor and with these other legislators and with you good folks. Thank you so much.
That's great. We appreciate you, Senator Azinger. And now we have some terrific delegates that are working. So I'm going to start first with Delegate Fehrenbacher. I'll have him come up, and then we're going to turn to the next two.
Thank you, Governor, for your support for St. Mary's and Pleasants County, and frankly, thank you for your investment in infrastructure in West Virginia, for all of the things, not only the citizens, but frankly, the impact it has on economic development. Thank you for your continued support.
I appreciate it. Now I want to turn it over to our newest delegate, Delegate Bell, for a few words. Congratulations.
I want to thank the governor for his commitment to infrastructure. Congratulations, Mayor. When I first took office, I lied, it was 18 days. I miscounted. When I took office 18 days ago, majority of the phone calls I received were, we have to fix the water, we have to fix the water, we have to fix the water. And I am excited and proud to stand with Governor Morrisey in addressing this massive concern. So I want to thank you, Governor, for your support. Sure. And without this infrastructure, we're tired of being 51st. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And last, but certainly not least, but I want to make sure there's better half has a chance if you want to say a few words as well. But you've got a terrific young delegate in Trenton Barnhart, who if I've had the good fortune of knowing for a while, and he'll wear it out to make sure that he fights for this area. So Trenton.
Well, thank you, Governor, and thank you so much for being here, everyone today. This is a special day for our community, and like you said, my name is Trent Barnhart. I've had the opportunity to represent this area, Pleasants, Ritchie, and part of Tyler County for a number of years now, and it's been the honor of my life to represent our people, and it's not every day you get to welcome the governor to your hometown. So we certainly appreciate him for being here today and welcome him to our district. I want to congratulate the city of St. Mary's. This is a wonderful day. I think the biggest thing that everybody should take away from this is that our government works the best when everybody works together and pulls the rope. There's always something you can do. There's always somebody you can reach out to. And I want to thank the governor's office for being a great resource to us. They've been very accessible. His staff has been good to communicate with us and get back with us on matters that are important to each and every one of you. And, we're talking about, you talked about the economic backyard brawl. We're always talking about how we can do well in making sure we match up well with our surrounding states. And we should do that. And it all starts with water development, which in my opinion is the foundation for all economic development we can possibly pursue. So this is going to be a great opportunity to provide great resources, great water resources for our communities, and all of our businesses, large and small, our schools, all the right down the line. And I'm excited to be here today. I appreciate his efforts. I appreciate the city and everyone that helped make this possible. So again, thank you for being here, and it's a great day for St. Mary's.
Yeah,
thank you.
Great. Well, it is terrific to be here, and I feel very fortunate. You've got a good representative sample of some of the folks that we're working with to make it happen. Once again, you win as a team. And that means when your governor works together with the legislature and works together with local communities, really big things can happen. And that's what we're working on here in West Virginia right now. I'm excited about the future economically. I know there are some other announcements that came out today that we worked really hard on, that the state finished with the surplus, and we had a lot of good work with the legislature, but also, we were able to make a lot of the tough decisions that actually is going to allow that surplus, some of it to roll over. Some of it's going to be already allocated for important things, but these are big, tough decisions that you make. I know that when I came in on day one, I issued an executive order to begin looking for the kind of savings that we need, and it's paying off. We're saving money. We're running government more efficiently, and we're making decisions to say, listen, when we're going to spend money, let's make sure we spend it on the things that really matter and drive economic growth. So that's why we're here today. Water infrastructure. Pretty hard to argue against water infrastructure, right? Our educational attainment, driving that up. Our kids are our most valuable resources. And allowing West Virginia to really improve its position to compete more effectively in other states against other states that we touch. So it's all a team. That's what we're going to keep emphasizing. And I'm glad that folks are here today on the local level, the state level, to help make sure that we're going to continue to advance. Now, with that, I'd be happy. I know there are a couple members of the media here. I'd be happy to answer any questions from the media. Bob, you want to be first? Bob does a good job. He's come up from Charleston today. So, Bob, fire away. We did. For this, yeah. No. So I get this. This is helpful. The fiscal and the structural problems that we identified were always for the period of July 1, 26 through June 30th. July 1 of 25 through June 30 of 26. In the budget process, we were able to make significant inroads in addressing that. Not everything, in part because we know that there are some challenges in the future. We know that PEIA is expected to see significant jumps off the baseline expenditure. I think the latest stat was about $35 million. We know that Hope Scholarship in other areas, that could be up to $190 million off of baseline. So some of those problems still are out there, but we're making the kind of decisions, the tough decisions, in order to position West Virginia effectively. And so I would say that this is a result of a lot of hard work, but we have a great optimistic future, but we do still have some real challenges with some of the increases expected in those programs. So we're not going to celebrate. We're just going to keep getting back to work, but it's because of the decisions we've made over the last 6 months that our long-term fiscal situation's improving, but rest assured there's still tough challenges and tough decisions ahead.
Will you be able to call lawmakers in for a special session to deal with the EIA and some of the issues?
Sure. Well, no, we've been having good communications with the legislature. I won't go through all the content, so I won't prejudge everything, but the hope has always been to collaborate with the legislature before you call them back into session. I always thought that's a pretty good thing to do, right? That you work with them in advance so it could facilitate an agreement between the executive and the legislative branch. So we're having a lot of discussions. We've had many meetings on it. So I'm going to continue to do that. There will be a special session. We don't have the exact date locked in. Maybe it makes sense to do it during the interim sessions, but we certainly plan to do it because we need to continue to make progress on some of the long-term structural challenges facing our state. And, PEIA is one of them. And so I do expect that we will be having a special session. And as we learn more details about the date, I'm happy to relay that to you.
You do this $338 million as one-time money, or is it something that we allocated for an ongoing?
So it's important for folks to know that of the 338 that came in, 100 million is already allocated. So that already takes it down 100. We obviously had rolled over some money that we didn't spend from the past, which I think is really important. In fact, one significant point, every year there are always dollars that are expiring at the end of the year, and the amount of money that we were able to expire is significantly higher than normal. But that's because we tried to clamp down on a lot of the spending. We want to spend for things that matter, like water infrastructure, and not waste and abuse. So there are disciplined things that we're doing, but if you go through the rest of the resources, we still have to make sure we're going to be funding and pre-funding the Hope Scholarship changes. That's a lot of money. As I mentioned, that could be 190 million. We're going to wait and see what those numbers look like. So you see that pretty quickly, virtually all of that money is effectively allocated for. But I'll tell you what, we're going to keep working really hard because we're going to find more efficiencies in state government. And the long-term arc of it is I want to deliver a big tax cut to our citizens. That's a big priority. But first, you want to get your fiscal house in order. That's what we're doing. Part of what we did during the past session is we effectively paid for some of the tax cuts that were done in the past, right? They announced the tax cuts in the past, but we had to make the tough decisions and pay for them. I'm not complaining about that because I think our citizens deserve tax cuts, right? But you have to make the tough decisions that accompany that. And I certainly have been working to do that this year. And I applaud the legislature for working with me on the budget. We were able to make a good down payment on some of the long-term challenges the state faces. He's getting a third question in. Wow. Listen, I've always said we always get so many requests that come in from people across the state, and it's the governor. Tough decisions have to get made as you're deciding where dollars get allocated. So, there are always going to be people who view the world differently. So I'm not going to let that distract me. I'm here today. There are folks from Wood County, there are folks from Pleasants County, and folks from all across West Virginia. I think that's a great thing. We're going to work with anyone who wants to put West Virginia first. This is about Team West Virginia, and if you have a good idea and there's something that's meritorious, I don't care what your partisan stripe, I don't care where you live, we're going to consider that idea. Heck, I'm always fond of saying, there's a guy that I probably disagree with on virtually most issues, and yet, we signed a bill that one of the Democrat members put into place because we thought in that one instance we agreed with them, right? If it's a good idea, then we're going to move forward. I think that's the right way. That's what the citizens demand, and that's how we'll keep working. Let me make sure I give other media an opportunity. Sir? And can you state your name and... Oh, yeah, I've been by that place. Nice place. Yep. I prefer beautiful to ugly as a general matter. But. Yeah. Look, I think it's a great question. And the key for West Virginia to really soar economically, first, we have to have our fiscal house in order, but then we have to grow. We have to lift up our standard of living, and we have to make sure that there's more opportunity for the next generation. So that means you're investing in education, you're investing in infrastructure, and you're creating the kind of business environment that's going to be incredibly attractive for companies to locate in. So I think that's a big piece of it. We have to be in growth mode. And to do that, we're investing in the right places. We're cutting red tape. And so that the standard of living needs to rise. That's a big part of how we solve it. The other part, I would say, is if you look at that recent bill that passed, people can point to the things they don't like, but there are also a lot of pieces that we hope could be very helpful to West Virginia. I personally would love to see our economy supercharged with more economic growth, right? I think President Trump is working so hard for the people of West Virginia and America, and I'm proud to stand by him. And if his bill works economically, lifts us up, I think that's a terrific thing. And then some of the other pieces in the bill, we're going to work on to try to further maximize that economic growth. If we can do that, then it allows us to afford some of the other, deal with some of the other challenges that we have in a way that works for all of our citizens, including retirees, who are obviously in the toughest position of all with respect to PEIA because they can't offset it with other pay increases or other things. So we're going to keep doing that, but the key is economic growth. That's why we talk about it all the time. That's why this past legislative session, we had a number of big bills, whether we're talking about the licensing reciprocity to get more people to work, the one-stop shopping, or also the microgrids bill. These were all big things that we think are going to pay dividends for our state, and that'll lift up some of the revenue, and that actually might allow us to also cut some of the taxes and fees that are in place, once again, to help our citizens directly. So we're working on a lot, but we know there's a lot more that we have to do, and I'm certainly grateful that you came out here today. Questions? WTAP? And what is your name, ma'am? Allison, how are you? Good. Thanks for coming. Oh, you said you have no questions. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you had questions. Is there anyone else from the media who has questions? I saw someone else who's from, oh, there you are, buddy. What's going on? Any questions?
The only question I had would be about flooding in Western County, but I'll ask that later.
You want to ask me questions later? Okay. Well, I will just say this too. You know, we're obviously investing heavily in water infrastructure, but we also earlier this week announced $6 million in flood studies, which is important. And that's been in the works for some time. And we're able to leverage some of the federal resources through the Army Corps of Engineers and obviously through our Civil Contingency Fund, because we think that's important. We'll also be having some additional announcements for some infrastructure work we're doing around the state. You know, we recognize that this is a big challenge for our state. It didn't happen overnight, but we want to work on it, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Good for you. Good for you. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. We want to make sure that as many resources go to help address our secondary roads and our bridges. You know, our bridges were allowed to really deteriorate to a pretty bad place. You know, we're ranked at the bottom, we're very near the bottom in terms of bridges. And I'm trying to prioritize those secondary roads and those bridges. I think it really matters. So I just ask people, as you see a lot of the crews out there, know that in part, that's because of the money that's been allocated for them and the work of the legislature and the executive to come together for that extra $100 million. That certainly helps. And, you know, who knows, maybe there'll be some other opportunities. We want to help as many people as we can. So I'm glad your road is going to get fixed. Any final questions from the media? Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming. I love this area. It's incredible. And how's the your Smith's Hard Candy store? Are they doing pretty well? I always love coming up and getting, that's a great place, coming up and picking up some things to take back home. So maybe we'll stop by and say hello. Guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Be well.